Today, we are going to talk about the valuation of real estate companies. In previous videos, we explained alternative approaches to value individual income properties and development projects. We know that a significant number of income properties are held in portfolios managed by property companies. Also, most developments are conducted by specialized property developers. In this presentation, we are going to explain how to value these types of firms. On the one hand, the income property companies, and on the other hand, the developers. Let's start with the income property companies. Well, the most popular method to value these firms is based on asset market prices. And among these methods, asset market prices, the best modality, the more accurate measure is net asset value, or net NAV, which equals the sum of the market values of all the properties in the first portfolio minus the market value of the total debt of the firm minus the capital gain taxes, assuming immediate liquidation of all the properties. However, net NAV is somewhat inexact, since it does not account for operating expenses and added value by management. Let me explain. Any company has some operating expenses, and these operating expenses reduce the value of the firm. We are ignoring these operating expenses when we use net NAV. On the other hand, every company has management. Management costs money, but supposedly the value of management adds value to the firm, supposedly, because that is the objective of having management team. So, in theory, the value added by management minus operating costs should be an additional or a premium value above net NAV. And we are ignoring this additional premium when we ignore the value of management and also the operating expenses. So we can conclude that net NAV is more or less justified only in those cases in which we are dealing with passively managed firms, meaning that the value added by management is very, very small. They just do very simple tasks like administering the properties and the day-to-day progress of the properties. There are also other inaccuracies of net NAV. First, we assume that capital gains taxes are accounted for by assuming that all assets are liquidated at once. In reality, assets, in case we decide to liquidate the assets, they are liquidated over time, and capital gains taxes probably are quite different. And if we are maximizing the payment of taxes, probably the present value of these capital gain taxes will be smaller. And the second inaccuracy is the impact of liquidation costs. If we assume that we are going to liquidate all the assets, well, here in this method, in this net NAV, we are ignoring the costs associated with this liquidation process. Now let's go to development firms. The most popular approaches in these cases are multiples and discounted cash flows, as in any other company. However, multiples do not make a lot of sense in the case of development firms, given the high volatility of benefits, sales, and other parameters that characterize these companies. So we are left with discounted cash flow. The way practitioners usually value development firms through discounted cash flow is on an add-on basis, meaning that each development is discounted at its corresponding discount rate, and then the value of the firm will be just the sum of all these present values. However, this is also inaccurate because we are ignoring the cash flows beyond the current developments. We are ignoring all the developments that will take place after all the current developments mature. One possibility to partially solving this problem is assuming a steady flow of projects in different phases of development in perpetuity. So we assume that we are going to have a stream of projects in perpetuity, and then we will add the value of this stream to the value of the development firm. However, it is clear that valuing development firms is not very easy. So we can conclude that the valuation of development firms tend to be quite imprecise. So let's conclude. We explained the most common approaches to value property companies and development firms in this presentation. And we concluded that although property companies can be valued with a reasonable degree of accuracy, this is not the case of development firms, whose valuation presents important challenges regarding the developments in the far future. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you.